I'm Yahya from California class. I wanna make a video about. Wanna tell you about how game I have played when I childhood and what is that? Okay, I have played spinning top or Gaza. You know it? Gassing is a toy usually made of very hard, heavy wood taken from strong trees so it does not break easily. It is round shaped a little like a drum with a sharp metal or hard point at the bottom. To play it, first we wrap a thick, strong chandelier on the body of the gassing. Have to rapidly, not too loose and not too tight. You know, alright, come correctly. Then we hold the string firmly between our finger. Nah. Swing our arm backward, then forward, and pull fast and strike to the gassing falls down and lands bang perfectly on the drum. Some goods ones can spin for minutes, and when they turn fast enough, they even make a soft, low humming sound that sounds really nice. We often held small competition in the yard or under a big tree. Whoever's guessing spun the longest when the winner or played a harder way, you try to knock your friends guessing over with yours. But yours must keep spinning or you lose too. When I was younger, when I was childhood, my father was the one who taught me how to make and play gassing. At first, mine always fell over after just 2 or 3 seconds. Then lied down on its side. I felt disappointed, so I practiced it every afternoon after school until I understood how to hold it, how to pull, and how to stand. Sometimes we polish the sharp bottom part with candle wax so it will turn even smoother and last much longer. It was never just luck. You need a steady hand, good timing, strong fingers, and lots of patience to make it spin well. If you pull too hard, it will jump and fall. Too soft, too hard, eh, too soft, and it drop right away without turning. Every small mistake taught me to be calm and pay more attention the next time I throw it. Next is Deccan or Chongklak. Chongklak is a quiet, calm, but a really interesting game played by exactly two people sitting opposite each other. We use a special wooden board carved beautiful, shaped a little like a long boot. It has 14 small holes along the side. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 14 small holes along the sides, 7 on your side, even on mine, and too much bigger holes at both ends. Those are our stores to keep the shells we win. To play, we need small shells, dry seeds, or smooth little pebbles, usually about 98 pieces total at the very start of the game. We put a 7 shell into every small hole. Then it's your turn. Take all the shell from any one hole on your own side. Pick them up and drop one shell into every hole, one by one, as you move around the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Going clockwise, if you pass your own big star hole, if you finish dropping your last shell into an empty small hole on your own side, you win. Then you can take every single shell sitting in the hole right opposite yours on the what is that? On the store. One as you around the board going clockwise. If you pass your own big store hole, at the end you drop shell there too, but you always keep your opponent's big store hole. If you finish dropping your shell into an empty small hole on your own side, you win. Then you can take every single shell sitting in the hole right opposite yours on the other player's side and put all of them into your door. Other stores you can put in your big store. When all the small holes are empty and the game ends, and the person who collected the most shells in their big hole wins. My grandmother me this game when I stayed homesick with her. At first I thought it was boring and too slow, but soon I understood you have to count carefully many steps ahead. Plan your moves and watch closely what your opponent is doing too, because they are trying to win from you as well. Sometimes I made a silly mistake and accidentally gave my grandmother extra shell. Accidentally gave my grandmother extra shells. Okay. And then we would laugh before trying again. We sat on the floor for hours, drinking warm tea, talking about her childhood, playing round after round peacefully. Okay. For the next is rubber and band skipping. We can say rubber jump. We make the rope ourselves by tying hundreds of small rubber bands together one by one until it becomes one long rope about 3 or 4 meters long, strong enough not to break when pulled tight. Two people stand apart holding the ends tight, starting low around their ankles. The jumper has to jump over the rubber and bend without touching it, stepping on it, or getting caught. If you jump cleanly without touching, everyone shoot and we make it higher, up to calf's knees tight, waist, chest, shoulder, ears, and sometimes even help hike above the head. If you touch or trip, it becomes the person turn immediately. Everyone could join, boys and girls alike. No one was left out. We also made different style to make it harder. Jump with 2 feet together, hop only on one foot, mm, cross your legs while jumping, turn all the way around, or even clap your hands while you jump. I was never very good when it got really high. My fear always seemed to catch the bear, or I trip and launch right on the top of it. But no one ever got angry or complained. We just laughed, helped each other fix the rope, and said, try again, try again. We practice every single day after school so our legs become stronger, lighter, and slowly we could jump higher and higher. It was such great exercise. After praying for just 1 hour, we were all tired, breathing fast, sweating a little, but our hearts were full of happiness and fun. Yeah, if I have a power, I will. Mm, if I have a power to back to my past, I will repeat the beautiful moment that is all. Okay, continue. Is stilts is enggrang. Enggrang are made from two long strike bamboo poles, usually about 2 meters tall, so you can stand high up, lower down one each pole, about 30 or 40 centimeters from the ground. There is a small piece of wood tied tightly with strong rope. This is your footrest where you place your feet to stand. You hold the top parts of the bamboo very tight. Stand up on those small rests and try to walk while floating above the ground. At first, it felt very strange, funny, and a little scary. Yeah, cause yeah, if we if we fall down, it's very what is that? Sometimes if we fall down, wait. A little scary is, yeah, we scare about fall down, yeah, because it will be hard. Mm-mm. Okay, because you are taller and your balance feels completely different. Most beginners start by holding onto walls, fence, or tree trunks so they don't fall down. Once you get better, you can walk freely, turn left or right, step over small rocks, or even rest your friends along the road. Some very skilled people could even jump or go up small steps while still standing on them. When I first learned, I fell down many times. I fell down many times. I scraped my knees, got covered in dirt, sometimes tore my shirt, but I always stood up, wiped the dust away, and tried again. After about 1 week of practicing every afternoon, I could walk all the way around whole neighborhood holding anything or falling. Standing high up made me feel tall, like I was floating above everyone else. And I could see far further over fence and roofs that I could never see before. It taught me bravery, how to keep my balance, and most importantly, not to give up just big things feel hard at the start. But last time I tried, yeah, mm, uh, I always feel scared about that, cause what is that? So long I haven't tried again to play that, so I didn't try it when traditional what is that? Traditional games agenda in BEC. So for the next is marbles or Gundu, another very popular game. I spend so much time playing is Gundu or marbles. We use small, practically round glass balls, shiny clear, with beautiful colorful swirly or pattern inside. First, we draw a small circle on soft ground or dig one tiny shallow hole as our main target. Then a few steps away, then hold our marbles between our thumb and finger. Maybe in BC last time it's nothing, yeah, it's nothing. So I just wanna explain about this. Then we stand a few steps away. Okay, continue. Then hold our marble between our thumb and finger. I am carefully and shoot it forward, trying to get it into the hole. Or hit other players. Marble, if you hit someone else, marble, you can knock it, knock it away. Or sometimes win it, and keep it. Tough. Usually we played just for fun. Good players learn to aim very carefully, control exactly how hard or soft they shoot, and guess how the ground, small, bumpy, and sandy, will change where the marble rolls. At the beginning, my marbles always went left or right, never actually where I want them to go. I spent hours sitting on the ground, practicing my aim until my thumb even got sore. We also collected and trade marbles. Yeah, it's so fun for me. Once we erased colors or special patterns were very valuable, and we took great care of them. It taught me how to focus my eyes, control my fingers, stay calm, and play fairly even when I lost my favorite marble to someone else. Okay, for the next, uh, is Dragon Snack. Dragon Snack. This is such fun running game that works best when we have many friends, at least 6, 8, or 7 more people. First, one stand at the front, had the snack. Everyone else stand behind in a long line, holding very tightly into the shoulders, chest, or waist of the person right in front of them. Now all of us together make one long dragon snack. The head the head leads the way, running everywhere, turning left sharply, turning right, going fast, slowing down, twisting around trace or pause. And everyone behind must follow exactly the same path, exactly the same way without ever letting go. The fun part is trying to make the back part break off. If anyone loses a hair hole or falls behind, that leave the line, or sometimes become the new head. The snack uh, wait, wait. The snack gets shorter and shorter as more people cannot keep holding on. Sometimes we twice so fast, so wrap around plus or trees by accident, and everyone laugh so while trying to untouch ourselves. It is very tiring because you have to work perfectly together. If the head runs too fast, the back will break. If the back is too slow, everyone feels it. Pulling this game really showed me that we have to compare and think about each other. Everyone has their own important job, no matter if you are the front or what is that? How about my favorite, my favorite traditional game? I don't know what is that. I forgot the name, but it's very my favorite game. Uh, what is that? Like, we. Okay, later I will explain it. I will look for it first. But the second my favorite traditional game is gassing. It's very very in what is that? It's very very fun for me. Uh, what is that? It's very very fun for me because yeah uh, we have to more energy, but we must slowly to we must don't be hard, like yeah soft. We cannot more softer, we cannot softer, or we cannot harder. Must perfectly. And yeah, it's uh okay. uh what's again, the name, like oh, the game. This is one. What is that? Go. I don't know the fact. I forgot the name. This one of most exactly traditional games we play. It needs exactly 6 to 8 people, or best 8 players total, for guards and for runners. The whole game is played inside a big square or rectangle, and grows split into smaller uh, selection or lines that looks like that. Experience or memories. What is that? What is that? We don't know how we set it up and choose team. First, we draw lines on the ground with cup, stones, or sticks. We make 3-4 strike lines across, so it looks like squares connected together. Then we split everyone into 2 equal teams. Defending team, 4 people that are the guards. Attacking team, another 4 people that are the runners. Why I choose this game is wait, each guard stands right one on one line, 1 person per line, and they don't step away from their line. Their job is simple but important: guard the line and don't let anyone cross safely. The rules exactly what you said. The rules exactly. what I said. Guards, guards, foreigners try to pass. Now the foreigners at every start outside the line. Their goal was to run off all the lines, reach the very end, then turn around and come all the way back without getting touched by any guard. And here is most important part: each guard moves only along their own strike line. They cannot step forward or backward of it. Only only side to side, left, and right. They stretch over their arms, turn their body, and try to touch or take any runners who tries to pass of them. Runners must carefully watch every guard and find the right moment. When the guard's arms are far away or looking at someone else, to slip off quickly without being touched. If you get touched by a guard even once, you are out, or sometimes your team swaps roles immediately. And how it goes when everyone plays. Since we have 4 runners and 4 guards, every single runner has to pass all 4 guards, standing one after another, line by line, for get past guard number 1, then number 2, the third, and then the last. And last one at the very end. If you make it all the way there and back without getting caught, your team wins 1 point. If all 4 runners get touched, then the team swap. The all runners become guards, and the all guards try to run and pass now. Okay, my experience in this game is so much fun because it needs sharp eyes and fast thinking, not just strike. So it's my favorite traditional games, yeah. Yeah, cause I'm fast and I can what do you say? I can think well. I can thinking well. The guard will pretend to look one way, wide quickly, or suddenly straight forward to catch you. Once I was the last runner left. All my friends had already been touched, and it was only me against all 4 guards. Had to wait, move slow, then run fast between their arms just when they turned their heads. My heart beat so fast, but I made it. It teaches you me to watch carefully, plan your moves, and work together. Runners can help each other by distracting guards, so one person can slip through easily. No puns, no toys, just friend running, laughing, shouting, "Go now!" and having the best time. Okay, I think this is the last game I can explain for you. Thank you very much for watching this. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.